Hello everyone, myself Ncert from Jorhat Medical College. We are going to start with the Cell Unit of Life, page number 93, NCERT Biology class 11. The very first MCQ they might ask you regarding cell membrane is the membrane in variant organelles, that is function and organelles, that is in cell membrane, especially in human red blood cells, enable the scientists to deduce the possible structure of plasma membrane. Now, due to this RBC membrane studies, the scientists have able to identify the structure in plasma membrane in 1950s. The next very important MCQ which they might ask you about the membrane is that major lipids are phospholipids and arranged in a bilayer. So you have to remember lipids are arranged in a bilayer, which is phospholipid in nature. Now, the polar head is the outer side, and hydrophobic tails towards the inner side. You can remember, like polar heads, there is a O, so there for this O, outer side is there. Now hydrophobic tails, inner part, and this ensures the polar tail of saturated hydrocarbon is protected from the aqueous environment. Now, later the biochemical investigation clearly revealed that the cell membranes also possesses protein and carbohydrate, and in human, the protein is the membrane of erythrocyte approximately 52% of protein and 40% of lipid. You have to remember these two figures for your MCQ point of view. Now, this membrane structure is given for image-based question, and this is a very important question. And you have to remember this peripheral protein, sugar, phospholipid bilayer, which one is there, and cholesterol. This cholesterol question have asked previously, so you have to remember this one. In the cell membrane, the very important question about this Singer and Nicholson type of fluid mosaic model, and this principle of this fluid mosaic model is the quasi-fluid nature of the lipid enables the lateral movement of protein. They might confuse you by alternating these terms, but you have to remember the quasi-fluid nature of the lipid, not the proteins. And protein moves because of the quasi-fluid nature of the lipid, and protein moves laterally. You have to remember lateral movement is clearly mentioned in your NCERT book. Within the overall bilayer. Now, other terms like that membrane is selectively permeable, and passive transport, osmosis, and active transport, and definition of these three are very, very important in your board exam point of view. These three definitions are important, as well as the examples of this is important. Now, coming to the cell wall is a non-living rigid structure. You have to remember that cell wall is non-living, while cell membrane was living, but cell wall is non-living rigid structure, and cell wall forms the outer covering of the plasma membrane of fungi and plants, and mechanical damage and infection and cell-to-cell interaction barrier to undesirable macromolecules is the main function of the cell wall. Now, primary wall is capable of growing, and which gradually diminishes and cell matures, and secondary membrane from inside towards the inner side. You have to remember these things, and you have already got these things in your anatomy of flowering plants. And about the plasmodesmata, a very important MCQ they might ask you. Plasmodesmata function is to connect the cytoplasm of the neighboring cells. You have to remember. Thank you.